So today's a rather bittersweet day here on The Theorist. I am reviewing the finale of Simply Meant to Be. It's the epilogue that BlackRoseEden promised us. And I want to start off with how the epilogue began, because it was a little bit frightening. It was a little bit worrisome too, because after we saw the finale, Sebastian was proposing to Ciel, and Ciel said yes. So the way the epilogue started off was everyone's kind of sad, they're at a grave, and a little child who very much looks like Ciel asks for her daddy. Not referring to Sebastian, referring to Ciel. And so, they're trying to calm the child down, telling her that her daddy is not here right now. And so that had me in a panic, because I was like, wait, Ciel was supposed to have a happy life with Sebastian, and all of a sudden we're seeing that he is dead, that they're visiting his grave, until we realize that Ciel is standing on a hilltop with one of his other children, and he wasn't dead. He was just giving his child a ride around in the car because they were trying to calm the child down. And we come to find out that the grave actually belonged to Sebastian's mom. So it's still sad, there's a loss in Sebastian's family, and, it affects everybody. I mean, obviously it affected Claude, because he was like another son to Lilith. And then, of course, there's Mina. And then, I don't know that the grandchildren were really aware of it. And then there's Lizzie, too. She was affected by it. And Aloise was also pretty somber. So just seeing everyone affected that way, at first it seemed like it was Ciel that had died, but it was actually the mom. Not to say that it's not sad that it was her. Like I already said before, it is not a very happy moment for everybody. But I mean, that's how life is. You have these children that Sebastian and Ciel had. They got surrogate moms to have them. So I mean, it was kind of nice to see that, not that they gave birth, but they birthed their own children with the help of surrogate moms. So I thought that was really beautiful, because they were able to have children of their own, like with their own genes. And, whether they did do the surrogate mom thing or adopted children, I mean, it would have been beautiful either way. Just them having a family together. But yeah, my point of comparing like happiness and sadness was basically the fact that I wasn't really expecting this kind of an ending for an epilogue. Like I had mentioned in previous reviews, I was kind of expecting like a wedding or just like a straight-on happy ending, I guess. And that's very typical. So I really liked what BlackRoseEden did with the epilogue, because it had a balance of happy and sad. We see the kids, and so that makes us happy that Sebastian and Ciel are happily married. They have their family. But then it's also a downer that the mom and the grandmother of these children passed away. But I mean, that was the nice thing about the epilogue, was a balance, because it can't always be perfect. And I think that was a good way of showing it. So props to BlackRoseEden on that. But getting away from the sadness, we will move on to a couple who is happy together, and that's actually Ronald and Will. Things actually did work out for them. They clicked. They're now living together. So that's nice to see, that Will is able to be happy with somebody. And as for Ciel and Will, they are very good friends. They are working together because, as you know, Ciel was majoring in photography at NYU, but I'm just going to go ahead and read this quote, and then we'll discuss this afterward. He became the head chairperson of his mother's cancer research foundation. It afforded him the opportunity to give back to his community of fellow survivors and patients, plus remain a stay-at-home parent. And basically this was all due to sight loss in his left eye after all the treatments to help rid of the cancer. So it was interesting to see that twist, because as we've seen in the anime and the manga, Ciel's right eye is the one that is patched up, but BlackRoseEden turned it around and it's Ciel's left eye instead. So it's cool to see another element of the original anime instilled in this, but with a little bit of difference. And then we see that Lizzie is still living in London, still doing the internship with Burberry, and she's rooming with Mina, so Lizzie's off to a great start in her career and moving forward. And then Eloise and Claude actually did not get married, as I had predicted, and they don't have kids either. But, they're still as happy as ever, and they adore their niece and nephews. So, it's a beautiful love to see. You don't have to be married to be in love, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a good ending for them as well. Maybe down the road, if there's a sequel to this, or, if people kind of envision that happening, that's cool. So, whatever floats your boat. And then I do want to end with the ending line of the story. It was Sebastian, and this is what he said. "As you wish, my lord." The line just says it all. It's, again, another reference to the original anime manga. So I thought that was a very clever way to end it. So I'd like to thank BlackRoseEden again for this beautiful story. And, it's sad that it's over, but she is working on another fanfic. So we definitely have something amazing to look forward to again. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you in the next reviews.